Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. 'Tis the 17th of May. Wow, another week and a half, 2 weeks. We'll be in June, halfway through the year already nearly. Wow, times move quick. Okay, we got in Groll Daddy. Good afternoon. Hey Jay, how you doing? Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Indy, how are you? So hope everyone is doing good. I've been watching this actually. I just missed that actually. I'd have been interested. We had a bit of a push and a drop like that, and I did look at it. But the trouble is, we'd already it's a little bit unclear what we're doing here. So, and I was looking. Hopefully, we're going to get something bullish there. But there was nothing really, and it ended up going up anyway. So, nothing really. So, let's see how we get on today. In fact, this possibly could be more like something like this, actually. I don't really know. It's hard to say. See where this goes, really. I'm not 100% sure. It could be just there's a bit of a spike in channel. I tried to get it closer to these, but we've pushed up. And it's come back to this line. So if it touches up here and comes back, I think not far off where that is. I don't really know yet. So. In fact, let me just pop a measured leg there. Market is due open in about 3.5 minutes. My time. Trouble is, sometimes these are not that clear. I doubt it's like that. Let's leave it out for now. Hey, how are you, mate? How you doing, buddy? How you doing, mate? Yeah, it wasn't a bad day yesterday. I got on a nice trade early, and that was it. Finished a bit earlier yesterday, actually, for a change. I'm trying to cut my streaming hours down a little bit if I have the opportunity. So somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, I think, is a good time. But if I can get my profits early, I'll probably continue for 2 hours, obviously depending. But I like to do a couple of hours. It's still a useful lesson just to sit and watch the charts. The more time you spend the charts, the better you get at reading them. So it's still good practice for me, I think, just to keep watching the charts even after I decide to stop trading actual, dollars. Maybe just onto a demo. So we will see. Let's see how we get on today. It's been a very choppy few days, actually. In fact, it's been a very choppy. Can I do that? Yeah, it's just been literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just been chopping. I mean, there has been some swings, so there has been opportunities, but it's literally been, if obviously on a bigger scale, that would be a lot of sideways sort of stuff. But yesterday, look at that yesterday. Wasn't the best of days, was it? I mean, it was like I don't know, it was like a bad heart, wasn't it? By the looks of things, up, down, up, bouncing all over the place, no proper rhythm. It was, yeah. I mean, if you looked at a heart monitor and saw that, you'd be in all sorts of trouble. So hopefully we might be able to get something today. At some point, we're going to break out of this area because it hasn't broken above about 4,170 for sort of 1, 2, 3. It's been very chopping. So where are we in relation to that? We're somewhere down near these bottoms, aren't we? Here, about here. So maybe we might get a couple of legs up today. Who knows? Okay, market official opens in about 30 seconds. So let me get my bar ready. 30 seconds now, I think. Okay. There we go. Excellent. Okay, right, let's see what's going on. We do seem to be doing this, don't we, a little bit at the moment. Looks like a spiking channel. I can probably bring that down a touch till it touches the top of there. I think come down to here now, maybe. Maybe we may get some upward movements. We got yesterday's highs up here. Let's bring that down a touch. Okay, yesterday's lows here. That's good enough. Okay, see how we get on. Counts are coming nice now. These 3 peer counts, they're all around about the $550, which I've done that in, I don't know, the longest one's 5 days. So it's nice and consistent. I have another one going live on Monday. So yeah, I think it's between 2 and 5 days, about $500 per account. Fraction over, 24 on one, 66 on other. So it's about just under $1,600 on the 3 accounts in 5, 4 and 3 days. So an average of 4 days. So when you think about it like that, it's not so bad. I mean, ideally, I think that is the ultimate goal, I think, for most traders, especially prop firm traders, just to get more accounts, because you can keep your contract size low and you don't need to go for massive profits. Sometimes the smaller the profit, maybe around a couple of points, and the smaller the contract size, the less stressful it is and easier it is to manage. So, okay, is that broken above there? Okay, so there's first entry. So yeah, so that's my target. If I can aim for somewhere like $500 profit per week per account. Now, if I do a trade 3 points, that's about $150. Now, I trade 2 accounts with 1 contract and 1 with 2, so that 1, 2 tops them up. So all I really need is 2 4-point trades and 1 point, 0.5 trade. That's all I need. It's not much, really. So there's certainly plenty available to get that. So that's my target. Obviously, like most traders, initially when you start, you go for way too much, and you end up getting into all sorts of problems. So I've had to reel it back a bit. Okay, in fact, there is a failure there. Triangle 1, triangle twice, failed, triggered. If that triggers below there, I'll be interested in maybe taking a lower high there. So let's say, for instance, I don't know. Triangle once, triangle twice. It hasn't triggered that failure yet. I don't know. It's not really a second entry, that. Yeah, it's just sitting watching, really, that. I was just trying to think if there was something like a leg. I mean, there seemed to be a leg there, and then a leg there, but it's not. It's you'd normally take your biggest retracement, which would be that one. So maybe the legs will end up doing something like that. Possible. Which actually, I'm going to get rid of it because I can see it's taken us up to yesterday's highs. So if we can get up here and continue going, then I'd say the second leg is there. I can't see if it's there. It doesn't make sense. It's not much of a retracement, and the same there. So I'd like to think it would be there, and then sort of a 2-legged correction. That looks nice. 2-legged correction, and then it looks like 1 leg, 2 legs, 2-legged correction, 1 leg, 2 legs. So I expect to get up here. So there's a little channel there which we've had a breakout of. So if we can drop down here a bit and make a new low, and then maybe a higher low going higher. It's hard to say. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? So everyone seemed to have stopped streaming for some reason. I was just browsing through people's charts again yesterday, but I think Sam stopped streaming. The Moo Moo guy stopped streaming. I don't know what's happened. So short-term trend channel break. Be nice to get a new low before I think about getting long. I mean, you may not count that one, see? That little tick up. People may try to go one strike or twice failed, triggered. So it may be that one pushing up. But I'd much prefer to see a new low from this before I think about going long, just in case it triggers, comes down, makes a new low, and then pushes up. And I really want it confirming this channel. It looks like this channel. It looked like a spike, so it's touched there. You could say it's touched there and there, but I just feel a lot more comfortable if we can make a new low. See that one there? If you'd have taken that one, your arse would be twitching now when that came down. It might push higher, but I much prefer... I did look at that, but I think that's risky there. We've had a break, but we haven't made a new low. It does look like it's going to grind up, though. But I just... I'm not going to be stupid. I'm just going to see if this played out, because it is looking like it may take out that long. It was a small risk. I don't know whether anyone will take it. Was it a point? A point, tick above, tick below. But we are getting small bars, so perhaps it may not come back, but I like to give it the option. I've been caught out on some of these. I much prefer it to break below. Once it breaks below, and then if it pushes up, it may be sitting nicely on that EMA then that's something I'll really be interested in. So a short-term trend channel break. Tried to go higher a couple of times. So I'd much prefer it to break with these lows, really. I just hope no one's in that trade, or none of us lot. Doesn't matter about anybody else, but I hope none of you guys are in that trade. The one saving grace, it's a point. Tick above, tick below, it's a 1.5, so it's relatively small on the grand scheme of things, but yeah, that's touched. So I still want a new low, really. I want to drop down, pick up some buyers, and then push up. If that... that's close enough if it...
Order submitted.
If it pushes up. That finishes bullish. I'm going to take that. Could call that a failure. If there are any shorts in there, they've been triggered. The trouble is, it is going a bit sideways. I'll see how this finishes now. I'm not a fan of that.
Order cancelled.
It's getting a little bit congested for my comfort, that is. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. I'd rather make a new low, so if we can drop out the bottom and push back up and sit on there, I'll be interested in there, but yeah, it's clearly going sideways. And we usually see this in these channels. It'll go sideways, come back to the key entry point. When you get a decent looking bar above the EMA, that's usually when it attracts more interest. But it's just the way that's popped out and come back. I'm not a massive fan of it. I'd rather see a break of this little channel here. Nice to get a trade in early again. How long have we been trading? 15, 10, 12 minutes, 10 minutes? Yeah, okay. One more tick would be nice. So if you did take that, well, you're already out anyway, but I'd much prefer to see that drop out and then push back up and sit above there. Then I'll be interested in that. Or maybe a higher low, but I'd rather break these lows. I mean, we have matched that low, so I think that'd be okay. One leg. Got to be careful these. I've been caught out so many times. Probably pull that out a fraction. Okay, new low, so that's good anyway. 1 leg, 2 leg, push up, wait for a higher low maybe. In fact, I could probably adjust that slightly. So let's have a look. Touch it. Touch it nice on the back. Trouble is, you know, I took a trade the other week and we had 1 leg down and we had a 2nd leg down. After that 2nd leg, we had a little break and I got caught out. It went down. And what I've noticed, sometimes when you have a break, it's good to have a 2nd entry within that break. 1 push down, 2 push down, and then take that, or at least take the higher low. But sometimes when you take that 2nd leg and it's out, it may come up and come down again. So I kind of like a 2nd leg there. It is a 2nd leg, but the 1 leg is popped outside, and that's what makes me nervous. All this little fine tuning, it's amazing really how you learn it all, isn't it? Little tiny little memories of trades when things didn't go wrong, all these little pictures and bars that are, you know, mulling around in your head, giving you an idea of what's going on. There's been 2 legs up, be careful. Well, I can't see 2 legs up, so where would you put that leg to though? There, I would say. So it's hard to say. I don't think it's any lower. Oh, sort of. Could be there. Even if it's there, it's more than, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'd let the trap trigger first and wait for the higher low or a failure above there first. Be nice to. I like the fact that it's gone down to retest these, but I'm not just going to randomly take a long here. I'd rather wait for it to start pushing up, push through the EMA, maybe give us a higher low. But it's got a new high there. If you recount that, try and go once, push down. So I don't know, maybe this will trigger and trap a few longs. I don't know, but you're looking short. I'm not yet. We've had a break of this. It looks like a channel to me. I prefer a break and a new high first before I think about looking short. All this has really done is just broken out of it. I'm not saying it's not going to, but usually you'd wait for a new extreme. It looks like, to me, it looks like a spike in channel. It's clearly worked up in this area, and this is the first sort of break of it. I mean, you could argue it's not a channel or it's not a proper channel, but it does look like a channel. So I'd rather play the safe game and think, let's give it a chance to push higher first before I think about going long. I do like the way it's pushed down there and bounced right off that, because there's clearly some support and resistance there. Touch, 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 touch. It's clearly playing a part. Okay, so that's the first push up. So I want to wait for maybe that to trigger and come down. If it doesn't push up, maybe give us a higher low. But let me have a look at that. That annoys me. Yeah, it's clearly there's clearly 1 leg, 2 leg. There's no argument about 2 clear legs down, but obviously I don't want to just randomly jump in. Okay, so let's count that a new high. It's a matching high. That we count as a new high. Try to go at once. So there's a 2nd entry long there. Now it hasn't been stopped out because that went down first before it triggered higher. So I want it to push strongly through the EMA and then come down. So that's fine. There's a failure there. So new high. Try to go once. Try twice. Failure. If that triggers, which it has, and it pushes up higher, then I'd say we're going higher. It might come tanking down. You know, if you're taking along there, that's triggered as well. So there could be a couple of traps, but it is a channel to me, and there's 2 clear legs down. So I'd say it's pushing higher, personally. But I like to keep my options open. It could come down, but to me, the best information I've got at the moment is that looks like a spike and channel. This is a first break, so I'd expect it to go higher. So if you count that as a new high and you're going short, some will try to go once, try to go twice, failure, triggered. If that pushes above there, it's going to hit some stops. And if it does, it's also going to give us a higher low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy one tick above there. And if it does push up, it'll take out those stops. Well, I'm going to get it ready anyway. I'm not going to... I want it to break this red bar. If I take it just here, it may tick up and come down. I'm not going to say it's going to work, but I think the safe play here is to assume we're going to make a new high.
Order cancelled.
It may come down and stop that out, but I just like to give it the option to make a new high. See what happens here. It's still not out of the woods there. As long as it doesn't break below there, because there is going to be some longs there and there'll be some shorts there. So, but it's always, I always try to err on the side of caution. It's just experience has told me this. Or as soon as you get massacred that many times, you start to learn, don't you? And it may come down. Maybe it may come short. Absolutely, but I like to just give it the option. Interesting. Pushed down, pushed up, came down, sold down, pushed up. So it is possible we may end up doing something like that. Which is uncertainty. Are we going up or are we going down? It's causing a bit of uncertainty there. Short seems like the way with PA's happening. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. It may well be, but it looks like a channel to me. So if it is a channel, usually it'll have a break and make a new high. So all that tells me is I can't think about short until I give it a chance to do it. Because a lot of the times it'll break out. It may even end up doing something like this: one leg down, two legs down, and then start working higher. It doesn't necessarily come out. We see it all the time, don't we? But if you took that failure there, you'd made some points there. But I always like to give it the option because it could leg and leg. When it has a break, I like to give it a chance to make another leg down and then push up. Especially when we've had two legs down and the second leg was the one that broke out. So it may go higher still, but I can't think about shorts just yet. Yeah, see, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not short, but I always like to just give it the option to. Yeah, nothing's clear at the moment. Exactly right. Which is why I'm not thinking about going long or short at the moment. I'm giving it chance to push up and break a new high before I get in. I mean, if it continues to come down and down and down, but I always like to give it the chance to play out. Because I've seen this so many times. One leg down, two legs down, and then off it rockets and makes a new high. And sucks in a load of shorts. I mean, the way it's coming down, I'd say it might, it might come down some more, but I always like to give it a chance. So we could end up doing something like that. Look where that's closed. It could be one leg, two leg, and then it might start working up. It's just hard to say. No, they don't seem to have it now, but sometimes, if bulls are interested in buying, they might think, well, let's see it break and let's see it come down a couple of times first. I'm not saying it's not going to, but I just like to keep my options open. I don't want to just assume we're coming short, because most of the time, when you have a channel break, you'll have a new extreme. And obviously, in this case, it'd be a new high in a downtrend. It'd be a new low. But I always like to just give it the option. Now, this might push up and just retest these and then tank down. It might well do, but until I'm told otherwise, I like to assume that it may push up and make a new high. Obviously, if it keeps coming down, it's clearly not, is it? There you go. Now my thoughts are thinking maybe short now, see? But I like to give it, there was a couple of legs and then it could have gone up, but it just it's gapped a bit there. Trouble is, it's very easy to go short there. It'd tick below, push up, break above here, stop you out, and then rock it up, which I thought at one point after that it may do. But let me have a look. I'd say it's probably wise to think about maybe resetting that. Let's have that. Because it could still be like a range day. In fact, I'm just going to pop that at the top there for now. See where this comes down to. I can't see an overnight. Oh, yeah. I see it. It's here, isn't it? We've jumped from here down to here. It hasn't filled, I don't think, has it? It's jumped from here to here, so that gap is here. We opened here, didn't we? Push down, push back up to the top, push back down, finish bearish here. Well, finished at the bottom of that red candle and then gapped half a point or something like that, isn't it? So this looks like a little channel, working that top tier, push down, a little bit in the bottom tier. Mark, is that you, is it? That's you, isn't it? This is you, isn't it? Is that you? It is, isn't it? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I recognise your little WM. I think it is. I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay, guys. See this here? A lot of you will have noticed this. This one-click trader, the guy that's on the stream now, Mark Whiting. You're the designer of this, aren't you? You're the designer of this one-click trader. I know people like Daniel uses it. Who else uses it? Daniel uses it. There's a few guys in the Facebook group that use this. It just enables you to. I've been too scared to use it on the live stream at the moment, but I've got it set on a limit at the moment. But it just if you hold the alt button, it just ends
Order
up
submitted.
just gives
Order
you the option
submitted.
A lot quicker to do your
Order
limit
canceled.
orders,
Order
and
canceled.
your stop orders, and there's a bunch of other things you can do. But I haven't really played around. Waiting like the fish got you. It's all right because you're American, so. Whiting like the fit. Yeah, I suppose you say why not? Because some of your words are slightly different, aren't they? We call it Iraqi, you call it Iraq. So we got you anyway. I bought that from Tim and I love it. Thank you. Oh, there you go. There you go. So another happy customer there straight away. Yeah. So you designed this, didn't you? I'm assuming you designed it. but it's very useful. I haven't played around with it enough yet. I'm trying to play around with it a bit more off stream, but it does enable you. The frustrating thing about is if you're sorry, what did I just do there? Instrument. It's all right. The trouble is if you right click for things like limit orders and stop orders and that, it tends to drop it right in front of your way. Now you can bring it over and do it over here, but the trouble is most of your action is around there. May be a second entry short from here. Most of your action and your work is done around here, so it is useful. And I'm just trying to play around with it a bit now. It requires a little bit of playing around with it because obviously when you're dealing with live money, you want to be careful, but. It doesn't take much to, I mean, for instance, if I hold the Alt key, see this white box here, that just means it's active. So if I click above there,
order submitted, order submitted.
I've got it set on limit orders at the moment, and I tend to buy and sell with limit orders.
Order cancelled, order cancelled. Order submitted, order submitted.
Stop limit orders.
Order cancelled, order cancelled.
Market orders and that sort of thing, but I keep it on here at the moment, but there's a bunch of things you can do with it, but I think you just got to play around with it and find out, get the best use out of it. But there you go. And it's a measly $200. It's not a lot really, but it does make trading sometimes. See if market moves quick, right clicking and going around. And sometimes if you don't clear your cache, sometimes I can click that a few times and it doesn't come up. And by then, in a lot of cases, the market's moved. So it is useful just to hold the Alt button and
order
just click.
Submitted.
And you're
order
there.
submitted.
And then you've got to
order
flatten.
cancelled.
So maybe a second entry there. I prefer to get to that EMA really. But yeah, so Mark, this is the guy. I had a Zoom call with him a couple of nights ago and he taught me through this a little bit. But, it's like when you get a new toy, it takes a little bit of playing around with it, a little bit of practice. I want to be competent in using it really before I figure out more uses out of it. But there you go. But I know Daniel uses it. I was looking last night on the I think there's about 3 or 4 regular posters that use it. So yeah, okay, so we've got 2 legs back here. Unfortunately, it's just not close enough. Is that coming down? Probably. But it's just not close enough. Trouble is, if you go short there, it's probably may stop you out. I don't know. But so whether we'll end up having something bigger or not, I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of possible it could be something like that. Yeah, there's a second entry short there. The trouble is, it's a little way away from the EMA, and I've taken those like that before, and they'll trigger you and then stop you out. I much prefer that to push in, ideally above it, and then if you push above it, you may get your longs taking profits and your shorts interested, which then drops it down. But so there you go. You got a couple of happy customers, but yeah, it's a useful tool. I have seen a few other traders using it. Anything to make life quicker. Seeming $200. The trouble is though, if you're sort of your cash is busy and you're hitting this a few times, trying to get it to come up. By the time you obviously mark your target, pick it up. Markets can move quick, so I do like the fact that all I've got to do quickly is just
order submitted. Order submitted.
I can do that really quickly.
Order cancelled.
And you've only got to save yourself 1 trade. Okay, so it did work in the end. It's just a little bit too far from the EMA for me, but it is 2 legs back. It's a perfect measure leg, but I've been caught out with those before so many times. So also move down 4121 market is that's a better place. Yeah. That's a shame there. I did look at it. I did consider it. Another reason, sometimes when you get almost a full green bar and almost a full red bar, I don't know, sometimes that can do funny things, but I wouldn't be shocked if that triggered and went up. Stopped that out, went above this, came down and ended up bearish anyway, but it turned out okay in the end. So what are you? What? Yeah, obviously you trade, Mark. What do you tend to trade? Do you trade the ES like us, or are you something completely different? Because this generally is Pat's, as you know, max sort of system. Took another 2 points there. Morning. You done, are you? Good on you, mate. You took that, did you? I looked at it. I ummed and ahed it. But the fact that it didn't quite get close to the EMA, and that also the bit that made me nervous, it looked like it could be going a bit sideways there. And if it triggers you, it may go sideways, push above there, break down, end up bearish, and then down it comes. So I'm just trying to be extra cautious. But it is a little bit congested there, and I just didn't want to get trapped there. It could trigger you and then stop you out and then come down bearish, which guaranteed when it does stop you out, it always ends up going in the same bloody direction anyway. Done for now. Good on you, mate. Good on you, Jay. I like to trade the open gap. I got you. So you can have the rest of the data code. You got to be patient for that, haven't you? I don't know if I have the patience. I remember doing a little bit of programming at college. C+, is it? I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah, I think you got to be calm, patient person to do that, haven't you? I think. I did mention to Mark the other night if he knows of any type of a program you could attach to NinjaTrader to not allow you to trade for a period of time should you hit a financial target, or maybe, I don't know, you lose 2 trades in a row because like me and many others, you know, emotions get the better of you, don't you? And you tend to jump in and you want your money back, and then the following day, when it's you've all calmed down, you wish to God you hadn't gone back in. You can't realise what happened. You know, you don't realise what happened. It's like someone else got into the driving seat. But if you can have something that you could maybe, if you lost 2 trades and you were down over $500, it would lock you out the system for maybe 12 hours, which would obviously take you in then to the overnights and the following day. Something like that, I think it would be worth its weight in gold. Now, I believe, and you sent me something, Mark, didn't you, that you may be able to contact NinjaTrader, but I don't know how that would work because our trades go through Rhythmic, which is attached to Apex's servers, I believe. So I'm not 100% sure how effective. And to be honest with you, I don't know whether if Daryl Martin got wind that people were using a piece of software, whether they might make that a bit difficult, because obviously they make a good chunk of their money. And if something blocked out traders for 12 hours, there'd be a lot less accounts blown. So, yeah, so I don't know whether Darren Martin would have something to say about that. I'm just trying to think if there is a bigger channel here, because there is a possible second entry short. Trouble is that channel's played out. We've had 2 legs up and it's played out, come down to not far off these lows. So, you would think now maybe going along there, but it may trap some shorts there and push higher. But I think Rhythmic Pro has similar function. Well, on Rhythmic, you can go into the settings and set a daily loss. Now, the trouble is, you can also go back into it after you've lost, I don't know, you've lost a couple of trays, and literally just deselect the box, and then you're back in. And the trouble is, when you're all fired up, your heart beats pounding, and you're desperate to get your money back, you need something a little bit more. I mean, I considered getting a big guy sat next to me with a hammer just to give me a rap over the knuckles. But when you are learning to trade, like most of us, we're all retail traders. If something just takes over and you get that fire in your belly, and I've done it myself, jump back in. And if it was a case of I had something set in Rhythmic and it would take me 30 seconds to get rid of it. Rhythmic Pro, yeah, that's what we use, I think, Rhythmic Pro. Let me have a look. I think it is. I think so. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is Rhythmic Pro. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it, Rhythmic Trader Pro. Ideally, you want something to literally take over. and to block your trades if you hit an amount. Say for instance you lost 2 trades in a row and you were above the $500 mark. It would take you out 24 hours to reverse. Yeah, something. Well, even 12 hours. I mean, if you blow your account at, say, in the afternoon, even 12 hours would take you to the overnights. It would give you plenty of time to calm down, because we'd have all experienced it. You blow an account and you walk away, you feel physically sick, and a few hours later, it's like, why did I do it again? You sort of calm down, don't you? Okay, so there's a failure there, which is triggered. That has played out. Sorry. It's all right, I've got to get the habit
Order
of doing
submitted.
this. It's a buy limit. If that comes down, let's see if it comes down and gets me. No, damn it. See, that channel's played out, and we've more or less come down to these lows. I mean, you could say that is more the lows and this is a failed breakout, in which case there's a failure there. But it's gone without me, unfortunately. There'd have been a couple of points available there. That's a shame. Darn.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, okay, so we got a new low here. Try to go low once, try to go twice. It was a bit below the EMA, but maybe if you put your order above there, you'd have got your points out of that. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. But it's clearly ranging at the moment, which is just like it's been. I mean, yesterday was Chop City, wasn't it? But literally, it's been sort of ranging, but on a bigger scale. There has been moves and swings, but that's a shame there. I did think about just jumping in, but it might have gone up a little bit and come back. That's a shame. I don't know how happy Daryl Martin would be about that. Oh, look at that. Don't know how happy Daryl Martin would be about that. There'd be a lot less counts blown, put it that way. Okay, so overshoot there. Let me just check there's nothing bigger going on here. There could well be. Okay, it's just the fact that it's hit there and bounced. Okay, I sort of kind of like that in an odd way. Touched. See what happens here if we do push down, but it's a possibility. I think it's a bit early to think about that, but what I will do is just put that there for now. Touched here, touched a couple of times again, touched again. So there's an overshoot as well. Overshoots, obviously, as we know, can result in a reversal, or it might just do the same the other side and continue up, but it could reverse from here. And if it does and comes somewhere down here, then maybe there may be something a bit short involved there. I don't know. We'll try a long at 41.31 here. There. Trouble is, there's an overshoot here. Overshoots can result in a reversal. So it might go up, but also it may come down as well. And if it does come down, the fact that I've put that there means that may be holding price. I don't know. But at the moment, it is just ranging. I don't think there's a bigger channel going on there, which is why I've just put that there, but took away the channel. Trouble is, there's a failure there. If it is ranging, then we're coming from the bottoms to the tops and the bottoms. You'd probably expect it to get up there, but it'd be interesting to see what happens when it gets to there. But if you gotta run, hit the code. Good luck. Thanks for the plug. Anytime, mate. Sorry, I didn't notice there. Yeah, anytime, Mark. Anytime. Yeah, if anyone is interested in this, Mark's the guy. One click trader, it's called. And it is useful for speeding things up when you need it. I'm still not fully used to using it yet, which is why I'm still right clicking, but be interesting to see when it gets here. The bit that got me thinking is it got to here and then just dropped. And the line between those is the same sort of angle, so it's just a thought that is a possibility. It may be. See, we seem to have a leg down, we've had a break and a new low, so we could push back up, touch a couple of times, and I don't know. I just like to be on the air of cautious. I don't want to be thinking about going long just yet. I'd rather give it a chance to think about maybe reversing at that bar. In fact, let me just bring that down to there. Put that there maybe for now. So far, PA bears. Bulls have worked it out. The daily 21 here may support my chart, and it is at 4 of it right now. Don't forget at the moment, guys, we've still got this 80% off Apex. Interesting. 80% off all evaluations. You know the story by now. My code's down there. If you use it, or you have used it, it's appreciated. But it's on till the end of the month, which is around 13 days, something like that. I'll be shocked if they don't just continue it. I haven't paid any more than 80% off in the last 6 months, I'd say. But it does make evaluations a lot cheaper, and see, it's rejected it again. See, that's the thing with these. They can result. Now, if you'd have took that, you'd have probably got a couple of points out of that, depending on where you took it. You'd have squeezed a point, I think. You'd have squeezed a point. That's what makes me nervous. See the way it pushed up and then just dropped quickly, like there was some shorts there. So that's what got me thinking. Maybe we've had this leg down, a break and a new low. Maybe this is like a correction. There is a second entry long there. Now, I left a trade like this. There was a second entry long the other day because I thought about maybe there's a bigger trend, and it ended up pushing up. But the bit that's making me nervous is we've had a drop from this price, this line, and more or less the same again. So there may be a little bit of sideways there and fight it out. So I'm a little bit unsure what to do there. And if I'm ever unsure, it could be a failure, but there is a second entry long. So I'm just not sure what's going on here at the moment. Second entry long, which is triggered because of this overshoot. It may come down. Let's have a look. What could we do here? Okay, so there's definitely some support at these highs, isn't there? So it's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, there's a little channel here. There's a clear overshoot, which I just tend to let it settle. Sometimes you just get an overshoot this side and it'll continue up, but just the way that price has dropped down quickly, and I just happened to put a line in there, and it's funny, it's happening right as if there's possibly the top of a channel. So that's triggered higher. If it continues up, I'll get rid of that. Maybe another. Yeah, I'll be surprised if they don't give 100% off and free PA accounts before long. It's ridiculous, isn't it? 90% off, really. Oh, excuse me. Trouble is, when you get 90% off, you just go a bit crazy with them, don't you? I know I do. A lot of the times I'll go for 6 points and a tick on a trade. I'll wait for an area that I think maybe we've got a trend in, we're going to push down, and I'll just take a trade here for 10 contracts. 6 points and a tick, and put my 6 points and a tick down here, and I'd say maybe, I don't know, 30% of the time, 40% of the time it'll work. But when they're like, what are they, $17, which is about £14 UK, it's not a lot really. And rather than sit there for 2 weeks and build them slowly, I'd rather keep my trading to the PA accounts and just try and get the evaluations done a bit quicker. I do, so I can forget about them then, and all I got to do then is just do 1 micro a day. Okay, so maybe that's not too bad. Let me just get rid of that. The trouble is it's sort of almost closed right below that line. And that's the trouble with these overshoots. They can result in a reversal, so it could have triggered you and then come down. But I think it's fair to say we are ranging at the moment. The trouble is, how far is it going to come up? I just don't like the way that dropped. That's what made me a bit nervous. We just hit a point and wham. It was just a nearly a 4-point drop instantly. They make me a bit nervous, they do. I could give them away and still make plenty of money. Yeah. I'd like to see some offers on the PA fees. Maybe this month, if you can pass an evaluation this month, we'll give you a half price one-off fee. That would encourage a lot of people to do evaluations and try and get a few extra PA accounts. You know what I mean? I'd like that. But was it you, Sam, that mentioned about getting a bit of a deal, maybe buying a bundle of them, maybe 5 for the price of 4? Was it you? I think you emailed him, Sam, didn't you? Did you get anything? Was it you, Sam? I think it was. Did you get anything back? I think it was like a deal offer. Buy 5, get 1, buy 4, get 1 free or something like that. Yeah, see, this is making me nervous now. Break. 2 legs down. If we get a higher low here, then maybe. But okay, so we've got a new high. Try go once, try twice. Failure triggered. So that failure's triggered. So maybe this will be a higher low. I don't know. I mean, we're sort of ranging. We've come from the bottoms to the top and the bottom. So we've. It was. Oh, it was you, was it? Did you get anything back, Joe, or not? Not the best bar, is it? I thought it was a good idea, to be honest with you. They just said that they would elevate to say, you heard nothing back. Maybe we'll hear something. I think it's a good idea. I mean, you look at all the big sort of supermarkets and all the big stores, they all do it, don't they? So it works. It encouraged people to buy more than they normally would have done. So if you were just going to maybe pick 3 up, you might think, well, I'll buy an extra 1 and then I'll get 5. So you only pay for 4 then. I think it's a good idea. In fact, they changed it, didn't they? A month and a half back. It made me chuckle, I got to say. They said, and it only for a couple of days, I think they changed it, but they said from now on, when you make a withdrawal of 50,000, you still have to have at least $2,600 remaining, and they were doing that for our benefit to stop people blowing PA accounts. I just thought that made me chuckle, and I'm thinking, businesses don't necessarily give you easy options. Now a lot of people were sort of taking money and blowing, quickly getting up there, taking the money out and blowing the account. So obviously that would have cost them some money. So it's just the fact that they said they were doing it for our benefit, just to help us stop blowing accounts. It just made me chuckle. That's what I'm thinking. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Apex. you know, I like Daryl. I think they're a stand-up company, but you know, some companies they give you this spiel about we sort of we just want you to stop blowing PA accounts. It just made me chuckle. That's all. It does look like we've had an overshoot and we've pushed down once. It does look like not the best high or low, but it does look like it's going up, doesn't it? But it's still a bit early at the moment. All we've done is pushed up from these lows, hit a top area and push back to these lows. So we may come up a bit and push down, and it may turn into a downtrend. So if we'd have already been up here a few times, then it would seem more like a range. But I just don't like the way this is going a little bit sideways. I think that wasn't too bad, actually. Fortunately, it worked out okay, but sometimes overshoots. It might have done that and come down and worked down, and then there may have been a bigger channel. There still may be. Funny that. I mean, look at that. It's touched there. We just see, this is possible, isn't it? We've touched once, touched twice, touched 3 times, touched 4 times. So this really, what's the criteria for a downtrend making lower lows, lower highs? Sorry, so lower high. Obviously, we've had this down a break. Lower than that, lower than that, low. So it may still be this, or it may go up. But I can't go long here just in case, and not only that, it is going a little bit sideways. So there's 2 reasons there to be a bit cautious. The fact that it's stalling there for some reason. I don't like when it hit that point it dropped, which told me, why would there be loads of shorts here if this is a range day? But it is ranging, but it's only really gone up and come down and gone halfway back up. So, I mean, I don't usually use this, but if you do use this, you may think from the top to the bottom, look at that, we've come back 50%. So a lot of times when you do have a push down, you'll retrace about 50%, which is just above that midline. I don't really use this much anymore. So it may be this may be the area to go low, and the only reason I'm thinking that is just because of that quick drop, and it is sitting there. But if we push up here, then obviously that's by the by, then, isn't it? Let's have a look. Perfect touch. I've just adjusted it, but it's perfect touch. So just going to be a bit cautious, really. It's going sideways, which there's some uncertainty, so it might be the uncertainty. Are we going up or are we going down? I think that turned out okay in the end. If you were going for a couple of points, I don't think it was terrible. It's just the EMA had gone flat there, and I think it was a tick below the EMA. Yeah, just a tick below. Interesting to see if we close out there. Okay, you can count that as in, but it's just struggling a bit there. It does look like it's starting to look like it is going to push up. Okay, that's enough for me. So leg, sideways, leg. Okay, so this is where I think it's likely to get, and there is a little bit of congestion around here. So I try to go low once. There wasn't really there's no real option, but it does look like we're having a second leg, one leg, two leg. I'm just trying to think if we can make that leg a bit bigger, and then we can really, can we? Trouble is going sideways there, so taking that's risky anyway, but it is frustrating when you almost know as soon as it breaks out there, then my target is up here. Unfortunately, there's no way in really. But if we can get to these highs a bit, then it's starting to look more like a range then. But really, it's only been, I mean, we sort of opened here, didn't we? We pushed up to the top, we've pushed down the bottom. There is no debt scene apparently now, is it? They're increasing it, aren't they? That doesn't. I don't think he tends to get too much excitement in the market because he talks that quietly and it's almost like he's half asleep. So I don't think any traders can get excited about watching him. But I
don't know that one.
Oh, sorry. Alexa didn't like that.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay. Alexa's useful if you're not doing too well in your trading or you've made a bad trade. Alexa, insult me.
Sorry, I'm having trouble accessing your insult me skill right now.
Okay. Usually she does. Be very greenish day in my opinion. Yeah. It just seems like another sort of rangy day, doesn't it? It's clearly, I mean, that's the only sort of trending day we had. We did have a trend down there and a trend up, but it pretty much went sideways, didn't it, within a... yesterday was pretty horrible, wasn't it? I managed to get in a bit early. I think I took a trade down here somewhere. I can't remember what it was there. Down here, I don't know. If you can get a trade early, it doesn't have to take the pressure off. Okay, this is my target, but I think it's likely to hopefully get up to the tops here. Are you in somewhere, Nick, are you? Are you in at the moment? I heard you for a couple of days. I thought you might be away or something. Okay, one tick off that. We touched it now nicely. Okay, so nice measured leg there. In fact, that's probably a little bit higher. That's more like it. Okay, we've hit that measured leg. Two nice legs up. I did consider that one. It's, I don't know, it just concerned me a little bit that we'd had that overshoot. I like to give it the option to go the other way. And if it had finished a little bit more bullish than that, maybe I'd have been interested, but it's just finished a tick below, and I thought, ooh, just like it made me nervous about that big drop there. Then we had to pull up, and it just might have been a way down. I don't think there's a bigger channel here on the go. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, it's gone up to touch that perfectly. Yeah, I'm unsure what to do here because that measured leg is played out. I would think, after coming from the bottoms to the tops and the bottoms, you're thinking this would likely be the area that it would move. But this measured leg's played out, which is making me a bit nervous. So if we get a second entry, be careful of doing that one. See, it is possible it still could end up. I don't think it will now, but depends how high this. I mean, if it only gets up so far and comes down again. See, measured legs doesn't mean it can't go past it. It just means obviously it'll hit it, and then you may get a little bit of an area where you get a pull back in it. Okay, excuse me, just for 2 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. 2 minutes. Maybe a couple of legs and a bit higher. Just checking there's no... no, it's all right. I thought if there's an area here where it might be more suitable as a high, and this is just a failed breakout, but I don't think there is. Sure, why? But I am biased and bullish over the top today. It could still be. We haven't broken the lows there, have we? So maybe this is going to push out, push higher. I mean, there could be. It is possible to have something like this, isn't it? One leg up and another leg up. It could possibly. Well, if you break out and we end up going there, then, and it sort of is really, isn't it? And it's like a, you know, up down. So there was a second entry there, really. I mean, you can recount these or restart them, but it's just floating a bit there, isn't it, in the middle of nowhere? As sure as I think it's going up still, it's just a bit risky, that. But you can recount this, so if we can push lower, possibly a second entry long. This may, so we got, we had a break, try go once, try go twice, failed, and they made traps and shorts there. Maybe get a, because you can recount this, maybe get a second entry long to go higher. Yeah, see, that might have just dropped because we popped out the channel. Okay, so if you took that failure, or it's a lower high, I mean, to me, I still think this is likely going to go higher. There has a measured leg. It has played a measured leg. It doesn't mean it can't go higher. You just got to be aware it could do either. But that's why I was looking to see if there was any highs that it could bounce off. I mean, because it was possible that this might be, you know, the high there, high there, high there. This is just a failed breakout. I don't think there is. But this might be an area where it might hit high and come down. So you've got to be careful going long. It's clearly going sideways anyway. Push up sideways, push up sideways. If we push up again, there may be a bigger channel working there. See, it's possible. And we could be making that higher leg up to here. But obviously you've got to come in on a good entry. Okay, so that kind of fits. If it wasn't for that big drop. Touch once, touch twice, touch three times, touch once. Okay, that's kind of nice. But I'd rather give a second entry long. Let's have a look. Let's make that a darker colour. I can see it a bit clearer. Orange. guaranteeing it is, but I just like the way it's touched. It's possible. Drop out here a little bit. If we can break below here a little bit, and then have something bullish. Measured move has played out, but it doesn't mean it can't go higher. And we had a measured move there, one leg, two legs. What happened? It came back, continued down. So it, you know. Just wondering if this is a spiking channel. Fits better on here, doesn't it? That's a second entry long. Maybe it is a spiking channel. Let's get an order ready. How am I doing?
Order submitted.
Sort of broken out the bottom of this as well, isn't it? Maybe for a couple of points. See how it fits. What is that risk? 2 points. Not much room to the highs, is there? Kind of like the bar. Might come in on a limit order if it breaks above it. See what it does. If it's a spiking channel, touch at the top. If it comes back and gets me. Come on, come back a bit. I want enough room to the highs to take at least a couple of points, really. Come on.
Order submitted.
What do we get here? 2 points, just above these highs. 2 point risk is not too bad. I like to get out before the highs really, but I think it's going up by the looks of things. I'd expect it to come up. It looks like a bigger channel, so I'd expect it when it breaks this to continue higher. But my bar is 2 ticks above there, which makes it a little bit risky. Triple test, it's not a great bar though. I like that bar where it is, so I'd say it's going to work. It looks like a spike and channel touching a couple of times at the back, touching. Just might be one of those ones. It's not a fantastic trade, but it may just work. If it breaks above here, then I think it'll hit the stop there. Might take profit. I don't really want to go less than 2 points, and it is 2 points. So we'll say, but it's going a little bit sideways, but we've had this little bit of breakout and it's pushed back strongly, and it is sitting right on this line. So, you know, it is what it is. You're going to be just going to go for it. But it is a little bit of a breakout at the bottom of here, so we'll see. The way things have been going, I'm just going to get an extra tick because sometimes been taken out a few times for an extra tick, for a tick. So we'll see. Okay, that's sat on that line. I survive. It is a second entry off here, but the trouble is, I'm not sure how confident I feel about that channel. It looks like a spike and channel. Okay, so that would have taken me out for a tick. Let's see what happens now. I'll give it that extra tick. Whether it'll make a difference or not, I don't know. But a lot of the times it'll take you out for a tick and then end up going up where you expected it anyway. But I'll give it that extra tick. So let's see if it makes a difference. These are the type of scenarios that work. So we'll see. Looks like it might come and get me. Nothing I can do now anyway. Purely down to the gods now. Okay, I think that's clicked above there, so I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky. If it does manage to get above here, I'm just going to come out. I'm going to get me stop up there and just consider myself lucky. But it might just come down. Might come down. If it had got up there, then I'd have gone out of it. But if it does break this, then I'd say it's likely coming down. Trouble is, though, see, you'd still expect it to push up. But well, just one of those things. See what happens. See if I get lucky now. It is purely down to luck now. Does look like 2 legs that, so maybe that'll push it up above there. Just be nice to get out without a loss now. Come on, finish bullish. I'll have half a chance then. In fact, I'm going to put that there. See if we get lucky. Well, actually, if we push above that, let's just get out here if it does. Probably going to take us out, I think.
Order filled.
Yeah, okay. Oh well. Okay, so that's a shame. I'm guessing this isn't correct. It's a second entry off here, but that's frustrating. Oh well. Everything's finished. Pushed up sideways, 2 legs down to here. I thought that would be okay actually, and it didn't even get to the highs. That's a shame. Okay, new high, second entry long here. I don't know. I'm not convinced I know exactly what's happening with this channel, so let's get rid of it and start again. Let's see if we got anything from Mac yet. Not getting the emails anymore for some reason. Just wondering if that's a bigger range. Let's have a look. Okay. He's got that there. Right, Mac's got that there, I think. About right, yeah. He's got that short one, he's got the break, he's got that. He's got this as an overshoot. He's got that. He's incorporated this. And that's going a bit sideways and pushing up. That's where he is now. So, okay. I thought that was okay there. Right off the key entry point. Never mind. Didn't even hit the highs. I don't think there's anything bigger there. I thought that was okay. Push up. Second entry long. Hadn't broke the highs. That's frustrating. It went an extra tick below my extra tick, and now it's going up. That's frustrating. So my tick was there, below there, and that would have just taken it. And then look, damn it. Hmm. One, two, three. That might be a triple test. Trouble is, we're working up, aren't we? From here. One, two, three. Definitely seem to be doing that. That's frustrating, that, because you'd think that would be the usually when you get a nice, it'll go sideways till it gets a nice bar like that with the EMA. EMA's pointing upwards and that be it, but it's just frustrating when it comes down a little bit. But well, it is what it is. Takes you out, then goes. This is why I give it that extra tick. And I thought for a minute it might have worked, because sometimes it does. But we've had a push up. We've had two legs. Well, okay, so we try to go once, try to go twice. Triggered. Nice bullish bar off the key entry point. EMA's facing up. If we break above there, there was any, and it just didn't work. Came down. Came a few ticks below, and then ended up going where we thought it would. Must be some sort of channel working. Let's start here and work up. That seems to be it, doesn't it, I think? Touch, touch, touch. Yeah, okay. Where we like to come up here. Yeah, trouble is that far away from the bloody EMA now, isn't it? Maybe we can get a bit back. Yes, I had my channel slightly different, so that one obviously didn't fit it. That's the trouble. If you don't get your channel right, you don't know where to go in. I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have gone in there anyway, and then it just rocketed up, didn't it? So we didn't get a chance. It did work though. Yeah, just didn't. I mean, to be fair, I had my channel drawn slightly differently. It wasn't that clear, so if I'd have had my channel drawn there, maybe I'd have left that. I don't know. A lot of the times, though, like Max says, yeah, off the entry point, off the EMA's facing up, nice big bullish bar, 2 legs down. You just, I don't know, second entry long. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't, but a slightly more risky trade, especially now I've seen it come to this side, because it may continue a bit. You don't know if it's going to get lower or not, or how much lower, but well. So that was, what was it, 2.25 point loss, wasn't it? So minus 2.25 points. Sometimes you just got to take them, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I even took it on a limit order about here, just giving me enough just to, you know, pop out the tops and give me points, but oh well. I thought I might got away with the extra tick there, especially when that came down. So there is a little bit of congestion around here, so it may pull back a little bit, which is okay. So let's have a look. Yeah, there's definitely some support there and some resistance. So if we can get a couple of legs back, we may get that next push up. Let's just mess around now with these measured legs. So if we put that there, put that there. Now I would expect to get to there, and I'll tell you why. Let's just put that from there to there and see where that takes us. I believe it's not going to take us that far away. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. 1 leg, 2 leg, 1 leg, 2 leg. I like that. So if we can get a little bit closer to here, then I'll be interested in going along there, because a little bit sideways, push out, come back, retest here, then go higher. It does look like that's where we're going to go. I'd certainly, the way it just looks to me like a leg and a leg, but I'd certainly expect to get to these highs. Whether we push as high as that or not, I don't know. I would have thought so. It does look like a leg. A retracement, which is the biggest retracement. It's bigger than that little pullback, isn't it? There was 2 small legs there, leg there, and there's 2 bigger legs there, and I certainly expect to get to these highs. Let's just try to find an entrance, an entry. I'm just going to slide it out of the way a bit. I don't mind it coming back a little bit. Yeah, it might come back and retest these highs if we can break below a little bit and give us an entry. Okay, so we got a new low there. Try to go low once, try to go low twice. Possible failure. Looks like another small leg. Let's get ready with a
Order submitted.
a buy if we can see one. So try to go low once, try to go low twice. And get close to here and then give us something bullish. 137. So you're down here, aren't you? Oh, did that just take you out? It did, didn't it? And your profit's up here, 4.3. Yeah, I'd expect to at least get to these highs. It's close at the key entry point, and that's at the key entry point, so maybe so we can get a higher low or something.
Order cancelled.
Does look like a channel working up, doesn't it? No argument there. New low. Try go low once, try go lower twice. When it breaks above here, it triggers. Touch, touch, touch. Touch a few times. Touch, touch, touch. Yes, trader. Hey UK, how you doing? I've been able to watch for a while. Yeah, not too bad. I've got 3 P accounts on the go at the moment. Going up nice and slow and steady. Reduced my risk down to 1 contract on 2 of them and 2 contracts on the 1 of them. So that's the change I've made. I got another one going live on Monday or Tuesday, Monday, I think. So yeah, not too bad. Building up a little bit slower this time. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. So yeah, all good, mate. How are you getting on? Take it. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I've tried to rush them so many times and it just doesn't work. Everything you read about new traders, and they always say they try and grow too quick, too much risk, and they end up falling on their face. And that's what I'm guilty of. So I didn't want to, but I've just had to reduce it. At some point, you've got to really. We all try and sort of, we hear these stories about all this money you can earn, and you sort of get blinded by the dollar signs, don't you? And you gotta take a few steps back and then take it a bit slower. But even trading one contract, even you have 5 accounts, if you average average $100 a day, even 5 accounts, that's $2,000 a week. So even on 5 accounts, trading one contract, the potentials are there. It's not difficult to earn $500 a week on an account, I don't think. But you've got to do it slowly. Interesting that, the way it's pushed up. Expecting to get up, but hey Toad, how you doing, bud? Yeah, you got to slow down, haven't you? We all sort of try and run before we can walk, don't we? And you just thanks, mate. I wish you success as well, bud. We're all after the same goal, aren't we? That's the beauty of this. None of us are in competition. It's not like, if you're taking some of my business away, everyone, it's a soul business trading, isn't it? And it, so we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to get somewhere, better lives. But yeah, I think you learn after a while. Those first maybe year or two, you try and rush, you try and hit it big, you try and get lucky, and sooner or later, you just realise you've got to slow down, you've got to sit patiently, and you've got to take your time. You can't rush these things. You can't try and hit it big. You may get lucky a couple of times, but for the most, you can't base a business on just trying to get lucky and too risky. You've got to slow down a bit. It does look like it's going to start to grind higher. I'm hoping it gives us maybe breaks a bit lower here and then gives us a second entry. Because 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, and we're clearly breaking on this bottom, aren't we? I expect it to push up. We got one leg there and a bunch of sideways stuff. Push up, come back, retest, and push up again. Unfortunately, we haven't really got a setup here. Got sort of a new low here. Triangular 1, triangular twice. You break above here. Technically, it's a failure, but it just doesn't look right. I much prefer a second entry or a higher low, really. Because if you don't wait for them and you get in a bit too eager, you end up getting stung. And I've done it so many times. I've thought, oh, it looks like it's going up. Let's just jump in here. And then it ticks up and comes down and has another leg, stops you out, and ends up bloody rocketing up. But I have to be aware we've hit this high. So, there's a possibility this might not be right. There's a possibility if this is a range, this could be the high of the range. This might just be a fail breakout and come back in,
Order filled.
I noticed it came down, tick below, and shot up. So that's a higher low. I'd have come in on the top anyway, but let's I expect to get up here, but I'm going to bring this down just for, let's go for 3 points. I know there's not much room to the highs, and I don't really like doing that. And I know it's getting a bit risky. But it does look like we've had this one leg, we've come back to this line. It's touching this line really nicely. Touch, 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 touch. So this looks like a range to me, a channel to me. And we've pushed up. So these are the highs I'd expect to get up to. And we've had a leg and pulled back, and it also looks to me like we're having another 2 leg. We've got a leg up there and another leg up there, so I'd expect to get to these highs. Sorry, what am I doing? It does look like it's having a push, so I'm not going to be mega greedy, but I want to try and get 3 points. I'd expect to get to these highs. But what I may do is push
Order
that up.
filled.
Oh, it come out. I was going to push that up a bit and then bring me stop here and secure some profit. So I expected it. Once that started to push up there, I went to move it just to these highs, and then it went up and got me. But look at it. Once it goes, it's going. And look where it's going to. Look at that. So that second entry long worked. Not a fantastic bar, but we've clearly come down. We've bounced off this line, we've hit this, we've come back down, we've retested this a bunch of times, we've pushed up. What got me interested, as we pushed down, it went up quick. That tells me there's some buyers in there, they're waiting for it to retest it, and I look at that. I was just about to move that up a bit and then bring me stop here just to secure myself a 1.5, and then look at that, I'd have got a bunch of points. Look where it's going to. See if it touches there. So at least I'm in the green anyway, it's better than a kick in the teeth, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, if anybody thinks these legs are random, it could have been. I mean, look at that. That is a perfect measured leg, and I've checked it and double checked it. 1 leg, 2 legs, right to the nearest tick. Now look what's happening. So it just goes to show, you know, if you can get a good setup here with this 1 leg, and then we've had this sort of couple of legs back, it's gone up, come back, retested these. I sort of worked out when it pushed up quick what was going to happen. And I went to grab it and drag it up to here, and then bring me stop up and just secure a couple of points. And then as it's going up, just try and follow it, and it ended up rocketing up. But that's frustrating. But I'm in the green anyway. I got on about here, didn't I? Look at that. If I saw that and that come back, I reckon I'd have got 5 to 6 points out of that before I panicked. But it just goes to show. I know people go on about you need a fix thing, you need a fix, but I think sometimes it's okay to see it push up quickly. Bring your stop, secure yourself 2 points, because what you've done there, you've secured yourself a 2-point stop. And if it does go up a bit more, then you can take some more. So, and look at that. So we've pushed up nice and strongly. We've ticked that perfectly. So there's a load of buyers thinking that's where we're coming out. And what's happened there? It's played out perfectly. And we've broken the high. So what happens? Wham, comes straight back down. So, you know, the more and more you see this, the more you realise how accurate these things are. So let's work that out. So that is there, isn't it? That is there. That is there. And look at that. Look where the actual bars are finished, right on that leg. So we've got 1 leg, 2 leg, right on that bar. Bigger picture. 1 leg, 2 legs. Look at that. How accurate is that? It just goes to show where people take the profit. There's clearly profit taken there, because look at how that's just dropped down. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 points. Straight back down. Is Biden talking now? All that's done is there's 2 legs there. There's 2 bigger legs. And as soon as it's hit that, the buyers have taken their profits and the shorts are selling. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, just straight down. That was a clear area where profits will be taken and sellers will come in. You can clearly see it's a perfect 2 legs up. Not only that, is we've got 1 leg up and 2 legs up. And not only that, we've got 1 leg up, 1 leg up, and 2 legs up. Look at that. Look where that's finishing, right at the tops. 1 leg, 2 leg. So these legs, the more I see them, the more I realise how powerful they are. Because if I'd have had the balls to hold on here, if you've got a runner here and you're happy to wait, the chances are it's going to push up to the nearest tick. So once you start seeing these again and again and again, it'll give you a good idea of where to set your runners. Now, I know a lot of people say to me, I need to focus on setting 2 points or 3 points or 4 points. But if you see something developing, I think it's okay to put it here When I see it push up to around about the 2 points and I added at 3 points, then just drag it up a bit and leave it there. Secure your 2 points with your stop, so you know if it does come back, you've got your scalp. And then if it does go up like that, look how lucky you'd have been there. You'd have got 5-6 points easy there. So that turned into a nice trade in the end. And some might say there's not much room to the highs, but when you see what's going on, leg there, leg there, leg there, leg there, I'm not too concerned about those highs. You can definitely catch the whole leg. Absolutely. You can see what's happened, can't you? Those 2 legs have played out. Those 2 legs have played out. Yeah. That leg finished on the body. That leg finished right to the nearest tick. And then look, markets dropped 5, 10, nearly 15 points. Because people have realised we've broken out, 2, the measured legs hit. So all the, they're pushing up nice and strong. Everyone will take the profits there. And what happens then? There's no buys in there. You're not going to buy there, are you? What are you going to do? We've had that breakout too late. You're going to sell there, which is why that's pushed down. Look at that. So I suppose maybe some traders might think we've had this measured move. Let's just maybe take a small risk, put the stop above here and see if we get lucky. But I took a 7 on the NQ. Good on you, Toad lad. Is Biden talking? Biden's come to the desk, and all of a sudden people are going, "Oh God, here we go." No, he's all right. He's harmless, isn't he? But he is an old guy, isn't he? But yeah, look, 2 perfect legs. These legs are so accurate. Once you start getting used to reading them and you get some confidence and belief in them, and you get a good setup here. Look what happens. So we had this. It's a shame about that one. It may have worked, but then when I purely and simply didn't have that channel set right. And when I managed to get it right, it came sideways. Not a fantastic bar, but it pushed up enough. It came back, bounced once, bounced a few times. Have you noticed that when it pushed back down, it shot up quickly, which tells me there's some buying going on there. And then, obviously, straight away, I went to drag my 3 points, which was about here, up a bit higher, and it was pushed up that strong. It just took it before I had a chance to move it. That's a shame. I could have got another 4 or 5 points there easy. Is there some news? That's not news, mate. It's just that second. You can see it's not news. I'm not saying there's no news, but you can see the reason that's pushed up is pushed up and touched right on those measured legs. So that's why that's changed that to the measured leg. 1 leg, 2 leg, and the bigger legs. But at least I'm back in the green anyway, so that's good anyway. So it's just a damn shame I wasn't quick enough moving that, but I like that trade. We had this small downtrend, we had a break. Yeah, I like that. So I got 3 points out of that. 3 points, yeah, that's a shame. 3 points I got out here. I just went to move it, so I could have got, once we had this and this little one here, I'd have come out around about here, I think. Maybe here I'd have got another 4 points out of that. The top is good. Absolutely. It's a perfect place to finish and reverse. I mean, 1 leg, 2 leg. You can clearly see those legs, and then 1 leg, 2 leg. And then what happened? Everyone took the profits, and which took out any buyers out the market, and people thought, right, here we go, let's short. And then you can clearly see 1 leg, same again, 2 legs down. So the thing about these legs, the people, obviously the big investors and the big traders move them. The market. The people are moving these markets. The big, with the big amounts of money. You can work out what they're doing and follow those. Once we get on the side of those, work out what they're doing. You can make a killing, and I've noticed a difference in my when I say trading. My chart reading, working out where the market's likely to go, and I get it right quite a lot of times, and I'm getting better at it all the time. And the better I get at it, the more confidence I'll have on holding certain trades. Now that was starting to be clear, which is why when I saw it move up quite quick, I thought it's going to push up, and I went to move it, and obviously, unfortunately, it caught me. Otherwise, I'd have had another nice 4 points, and that would have been lovely. But it is what it is. But the fact that I worked out what it was doing it is a goal enough. It's good. I'm pleased about that because, the better you get at reading these markets, the better you get at making money out of things like, Max scalps a point. He doesn't make his money from his point. He makes them from his runners because he's that used to seeing these markets where they go. That's where he'll make a ton of money. I think his scalp is almost like his bread and butter, isn't it? So we've had this 2 legs back to the EMA now. So we've had 1 leg, 2 legs back, 1 leg, 2 leg. I'd say this maybe, I don't know, is it? I can't see it going any higher. In fact, that almost looks like a channel, doesn't it, in itself? Yeah, it is. So we'll see. It looks like 1 leg, 2 leg. See how this comes down. Yeah, but yeah, the better you get at reading these markets, the more confident you'll be in your trading. I'm certainly improving as a chart reader. My downside is patience. I thought that was okay, but given the bigger picture, that's why. But to be honest with you, it's congested there. So in all fairness, I really should have waited for that. What I should have waited for was this to push up out of it, come back and retest it. We've tried to push down once, tried to push down twice. That jumped up quickly. I took that trade, but that's definitely the trade I should have waited for. So my patience got the best of me there, and it's a shame really because I'd have been 3 points up instead of half a point up. But the more you do this, the more we're learning, and you make these mistakes so many times, and in the end you'll just start to avoid stuff like that. And much better to take 1 good trade than 1 bad one and 1 good one. You end up with the same result. PA suddenly changed, looks like news, but yeah, it possibly could be. Or we've had 2 pushes down and I don't know. But somebody did mention they thought it was bullish earlier, so maybe there's a bigger picture there. I don't think so. But I don't need to win a ton of money to have a good trading day if I learn something. And if you think about it, really, all we're studying here is human behaviour. We understand these legs, and what are human beings thinking when they get up there? You're thinking, well, that's it, cancel my profits. What's it likely to do now? Chances are it's going to pull back strongly. So you've got buyers taking their profits, and we're studying what human beings do. If something looks that good, what are you going to do? You're going to jump on it. And that's what puts. So I suppose, maybe you'll have buyers taking profits out there and then taking shorts. So you've made that, and then you've made that back down even just to here. Absolutely. See, we've, it's sort of ranging really, isn't it? And we've broken out of this, above this. So you can even call that a failed breakout. So yeah, but just starting to understand and watch these measured legs is helping my trading because it gives me a picture of where something's likely to go. And then, the unfortunate thing with only trading 1 or 2 contracts, you haven't really got the luxury of being able to take runners. So your runners make you that extra bit of money in your bonus. But what I'd kind of like to do, and I know people say you need to set a profit, but for me, it was going to push up to these areas. Now, when it pushes up so far, I don't see any problem with dragging your profit up there quickly, taking your stop and dropping it here. Because what you've done, if you've actually secured a scalp, so you've made a scalp. So you've done exactly the same thing, but I've secured myself 2 points. And if it does happen to go higher, I can slowly move my stop and secure more and more. So having a fixed one of maybe 2 to 4 points, I don't think is all that attractive. Sometimes it is, but if you realise what's going on there, then I think sometimes it's better maybe to maybe take a bit of a risk and especially when it starts to move up quick. That means obviously a lot of buyers are getting in there because they're realising that this is the next target. So I realised when things started moving a bit quick, but I wasn't quick enough, which is a shame because if I'd have grabbed my stop, moved it to there, it would have moved there in a matter of seconds and and give me another 4 points. But there you go. But I don't mind if I've learnt something. And I'm learning every day, luckily, because I work weekends and I get a bit of the money from the affiliates, from you guys using my code. It enables me then to trade full time to hopefully get to where I want to be a little bit quicker. So, but I think it's a bit, it's easy for us in the UK because we don't need to trade till 2:30. So even if you've got a job, you maybe finish at 5 o'clock or 4:30, you can still trade for the bit of the evening. But I know a lot of you guys, your normal market hours is your normal day hours. So if you've got a full-time job, you don't have a lot of time to trade. So I'm quite lucky in a sense that, general tradings tend to start from 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's easier for people in the UK or maybe sort of east of us, moving, on the time scale, certain parts of Europe and that. It's a bit easy, but for you guys, it's a bit tougher. So a little channel, a little break, but not sure what's going on now. See, are we having a bit of a? You could say there's a failure there, but it's almost a little bit rangy there, and that's triggered, and they make me nervous. Yes, if you'd have taken that one, you're going to get stopped out there. You can see those happening. Little channel working over. It's only a first entry really, but you might say first entry failure, but I much prefer that bar to be, the body to be set on there and it to break down. You see what happened there when that broke out the bottom? It jumped really quick, which tells me there's some buy orders here. But when you get that, that's not an attractive place to buy, is it? You want to buy down here, so you want it to break out. So I try and watch for these quick moves in a certain direction, which tells me that, we've pushed down once, we come down again, some buy orders there, and all of a sudden it's shot up. And you can see, obviously, the rest is history. You can see what clearly happened. Brian, your first trade reminds me of the second entry for the day before. Lose trade. The day you take the same trade after it being be careful those second entries. Yeah. What you know what it's like. We keep making these mistakes, don't they? How I had the channel, it wasn't that bad. And we see these all the time, don't we? They'll go to the left side of the channel and work their way sideways until you get a decent bar and pushed up. And in all honesty, I thought that was a good bar. And if that would have been the bottom of the channel, that would have been a place where it had gone up. Well, it clearly came back to here. Not the best bar, but clearly sat on the EMA then. And what happened? It went up nice and strongly. So I don't think too much the trade was terrible. The channel was wrong. Yeah, it is a bit congested, I'll give you that. But the channel was wrong, and that's what got me into that trade. But, I don't mind losing these trades as long as I believed it to be an okay trade. It was a second entry along, off the key entry point. EMA was facing up. That's just pure down to inexperience, that is. And I don't mind those because they teach you something. Every time you lose a trade like that, it puts a little notch in your brain. And the more trades you lose like that, you'll start to avoid those areas then. And it's all about that forging process, trying to get that, trying to get that brain into the mindset of a trader. And that's what takes the time. But, I'm fully committed. I'm happy to take this time. So, I'm okay with losing these trades because I know for me that's a vital lesson. And you always learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes. Your successes you quickly sort of forget them, but your mistakes, they stick in your head for a while, don't they? So that's when you tend to remember them. I also had a measured move plus congestion. I don't know what you're saying there, Brain. Is that German or something, is it? Where are you from? You're not German, are you? It looks like almost like a German word, that. I don't know what it is. Grain trading. Where you from, buddy? Okay. It does look like it's pushing higher. Unfortunately, it's just the 3 bars stacking, so you can't really take that, unfortunately. Time is it? 2:15. Absolutely, yeah. And I don't. The mistakes I hate are the ones where I know I should have stayed out of it. They're the ones that frustrate me. If I think it's a good setup, I'll take it. And if I lose it like that, that's pure down to naivety, just lack of experience. It takes a lot of experience to learn to be a trader, and I fully understand that. And if I'm making mistakes like that in 3 years, that's fine, as long as I'm making money and still growing. And I don't mind those. If it had rocketed up, it'd have been a good trade. But obviously, as we've moved sideways, and now I can clearly see touching, and it's touching 3 times, 4 times on the other side. That's clearly the right channel. In which case, it may have gone up, but you likely expected it to continue sideways until it got to this line. And look, we had our, a semi-okay little bullish bar there, but it wasn't even bullish, to be fair. It was more like a sort of middle of the road job. But look, that's where you're going to buy, and they did. So I just lack of experience when it comes down. I've only been trading this for 2 years, and that's not a long time really. But we pushed up, came back down, dropped out once, pushed up again, dropped out a second time, and that moved really quick, which told me there were some shorts there. That's why I didn't even bother right-clicking, getting a limit order. I just hit the buy mark because I expected that to push up, and it did. And once it started going quite quick, I dragged me profit, tried to drag it up, but unfortunately, if it was moving that quick, it took me profit, but that's fine. Hamburg, I thought as much. It did look like a bit of German there. Hamburg. I've been to Lemgo and Munster. My stepdad, well, my father and my stepdad were both in the military, so we spent a bit of time in Germany, as you probably know. A lot of military over in Germany. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? How are you getting on? You trading? How come you're not streaming, Sam, at the moment? I went looking for your video day before yesterday, couldn't find it, and then I noticed your last one was about a week ago. The Moo guy's not streaming at the moment either. I don't quite know why. I know it can be a bit of a ball ache at sometimes. I had a bit of a negative comment the other day which niggled me a little bit, but saying about the trade was poor and blah blah blah, and it turned out Mac took it in the end and said it was a good trade. So it can be a bit tough some it's streaming, can't it? I do ask myself the question, does it help my trading or does it make it worse? For me, because I think out aloud and I talk a lot, I talk like this, you might think I'm talking and not focusing on the trade, but I'm just talking through what I'm seeing, so I think streaming works for me. But I get why some people, it can mess with their head a little bit, but look at that. I do wonder whether we're having a bit of a Hamburg. It's not really very convincing, is it? I'll tell you what's helping me, Sam, reduce into one contract, mate. Doesn't stress me out nowhere near enough. I've got 3 PA accounts at the moment. I've got one on 2 contracts and the other 2 on 1. Ooh, that might be an interesting place to go short. If it pushes below and gives us a lower high, the only trouble is just wondering where that measured low is going to be. Short-term trend channel break new high. I like it to have 2 pushes sometimes. I've been stopped out with those plenty of times, so I tend to leave them now. If it pushed in and gave us a lower high, then I'll maybe take it to the EMA. First since bulletin balance now, prices do not come back to support. And also, look, it does look like we've certainly got an upward bias, haven't we? I've marked it as a channel, but it just doesn't look right. So maybe later in the day it might do. It's a bit of a funny looking one, isn't it? It's not very steep. I think sometimes the steeper, the more accurate. So we've got a trend channel, we've got a break new high. See, it's trying to work out exactly where this... It's touching a bunch of times there. It's hard to realise where you might think there's a top here. I'm not convinced there is, really. It's clearly sort of ranging to a degree, but... Maybe as if we can get a higher low below here, back to the EMA. I've just been stung on picking those, really. It does look like, I mean, that was clearly a breakout, but we'd made a measured leg perfectly. We haven't there, see, which tells me it may go a bit higher. Not saying it will come up to there, but bearish bar seems like one Mac will mark, you think so? I'm just not convinced. I'm comfortable with that's the top of this range, if it is a range indeed. It's sort of in the middle of nowhere, really, isn't it, that? It's above there, below there, so I'm just not a fan. I can't see multiple touches enough to keep me in, and the way that's pushing up there, I'd say it's likely to take out any stops. We've got a leg, I expect another leg. If you've got a bullish imbalance, then it's quite likely going to push higher than that. In some cases, I may have even put a trade above there, but where's your stop going to be? I'd say it's almost likely going to take that out unless it does push below for a lower high. I wouldn't like to be in that trade though, because we've had a leg there. We could make another leg up there, and if we have got this bullish imbalance, it's likely we got that high, that's higher. It's likely, based on that measured leg, that this is going to finish the same. So if we put that there like that, by the time that gets up there, in fact, we could probably, yeah, let's leave that there. That would make sense. Touch there, touch there. That would be a place for it to touch, and by the time it's gone a bit sideways, it may meet that exactly, which tells me that's going higher. If we can get a second entry long off here, I may be interested in taking that. But I'd say that's our target, in my opinion. Same again, measured leg. You know, the bottoms, we've got this bottom, that's higher than this one, that's higher than this one. Same with the tops, that's higher than this. This looks to me like it's pushing up, it's slowly grinding. When it pushes above there, so anybody that took that trade, see, that's why I left it really. If it pushed and gave us a lower high, then I may take 2 points, but that to me looks like it's coming up here 100%. Yeah, I don't think Mac would have marked that. That's probably in the middle of nowhere, really. You'll ascend this leg. You'll see the way the market's slowly starting to sort of work up. This is where I expect it to go, and funnily enough, it's right about where that top is. So as these bars progress like that, I can see them touching right where this thing crosses almost. In fact, if you put it to the actual top of the bar, oh, and that one as well. Right on top of the bar and right on top of that one. I'd say that's the magic. I don't use this thing much. I'd say that's likely where we're going to go. Just put it there out of interest. If it does there, I get a bonus point. If it does make there, I'm going to pull myself a double 12-year-old Glenfiddich after trading. In fact, if it gets there, I'm going to pull myself 2 doubles. See what I mean about these? You would think we've broken out of this. It's like to come back, but 1 leg, 2 legs. Look where we're pushing up to. It's clearly slowly grinding that. So I'm convinced it's going to hit this area. And funnily enough, look what's happening. Now let's just clone that. Can you clone it? You can copy it, can't you? Paste it. Let's just see if that lines up. No, it doesn't, does it? Yeah. I like it, and I noticed this. I took a trade the other day. It was here, something like that. It was a second entry long there, and I usually like to take them closer to the MA, but we had these little slow bars, and the more you see this sort of stuff, the more you realise these little slow bars that are slowly getting higher, they're just grinding up, and they always tend to go where you expect them to. I see this all the time when we get these little bars and they slowly work up nice and slowly. I like being in trades there because if you've got these targets, they're usually pretty accurate. It's bullish in balance. You shouldn't fade the breakout. Yeah, I wouldn't fade that anyway because of the bullish imbalance. It's clearly sort of making higher highs and higher lows. It's not what I would call a trend channel, but yeah, more of a bullish imbalance. If you put a trend channel out, it just looks a bit weak, doesn't it? But it's slowly going up. So now I think that this is a spiking channel. I might be wrong. New low, try go low once, try go low twice. Does look to me like a bit of a spiking channel. See what I mean? Now I'm going to be careful here because I thought the same there, and I ended up taking that because I had it slightly wrong. But what I think is more important here is the 2 legs. So we had a bit of an overshoot there, which turned into a reversal. So we had 2 legs back there, 1 leg up. I still expect it to get up to here. Now, I think that might be the bar that may take it up there, but the trouble is I can't take that because I know it's a first entry, and I'll have to wait for a second entry really there, because they're the trades that just melt my head if I take them, because I realise I shouldn't have done. And I really try and behave myself now and just take proper trades, because I mess around too much. You spend so much time almost experimenting. I'll give this one a try, I'll give that one a try, ooh, I'll try this one. And yeah, it's okay initially to experiment, isn't it, or experiment on a demo, but at some point I got to take it seriously like a business. And if you were buying and selling cars, you wouldn't stick your head out the window, look at a car and go, yeah, I'll take it, it looks good. You'd get in it and you scrutinise it really, wouldn't you, before you made a decision. Yeah, biased has been, this is why that's where my target is. 1 leg, 2 leg, which is fine, and then we've had 2 legs back. We've got 1 leg, 2 leg up. I can't just randomly take that though, just in case it does, because it does come back to here and sits bullish. So many times when you get a trade wrong, it'll usually stop you out and then go right. right where it's going to go. I just hope that's right. Trouble is, you could say it's almost like that, you know what I mean? But then, I don't know. Touching along the back. Touches there, but sometimes they can be a bit hard. Sometimes these are really easy to read, but that one caught me out. Because normally you go there for the first sort of major swing, which would be here. So, in fact, if we can get a second entry long to come down here and push up, I like to take it there, right on that line, because there's a nice bit of support there. So if we can get a couple of legs down there, drop below, move up a bit quick like this one. Yeah, if we move quick like that, I tend to just hit the buy button. It's the quickest way to get in a trade if I'm convinced I think I know where it's going. I don't always, but when stuff moves quick sometimes, they go without you. And if you wouldn't have got in that, look how quick you'd have missed that trade. See, fortunately, I got in there and got 3 points. I don't usually, I save these for me revenge trading buttons, I call them, but I saw what was happening there. We pushed down, tried to go down one more time, and then it jumped quickly, which told me there was buyers in there, which is why I just hit buy, and I got in plodding around here. Possible second entry. It's just congested. I'd want this to come down, really. I don't think this would be like this. I don't mind if it pushes out. I got this slightly wrong. If it does drop below and sits on that ear main on this top line, that'd be good enough for me to go along there. We haven't made that second leg yet, so he tells me there's further to go. Excuse me. No, drop below there a bit more. Come on.
Order submitted.
No, I don't like that one. Okay, excuse me.
Order
just for
cancelled.
A quick second. I'm just going to nip to the bathroom quickly. Okay. I can't take that. Yeah, I do as well. Unfortunately, it's just a bit dodgy there, isn't it? Not only that, there's a possible failure there. If that triggers, so lads, I took a break. Did your losing trade get knocked out by 1 tick? No, 2 ticks. fortunately enough, sadly enough, that one there, I brought it down an extra tick, and that one worked. But when it came down, so if I'd have given it 2 ticks, it would have worked. I don't mind giving it 1 tick sometimes, because quite a lot of times, what I tend to do is if I get taken out by 1 tick, I write it down. Every losing trade, I write down whether it took me out for 1 tick or more. And if I'm getting over 50% of them take me out for 1 tick, I'm going to start giving an extra tick. Just trial and error. Yeah. Trouble is, you give it 2 ticks, you give it 3, where's your stop? 1 tick, I don't mind, but I'm just going to monitor it. And if I find even 50% of the time, look at that, even 50% of the time it's taking me out, then I'm going to, I'll start giving it an extra tick. And I don't mind, because Mac will put his order 1 tick above there. I hold the limit order right on the bar, so wait for it to break and I drop it. So I've saved myself a tick anyway, so if I want to save myself a tick there and put it there, it hasn't really cost me anything extra. Sorry. So there's almost like a little short trend there, break. I still expect this to go up. Obviously that circle is going to be a little bit further up, but that's, you get the idea anyway. That's where I expect it to go, this line. In fact, the original way might work out better. There. Right, what happened here? Push down, break. So it'd be interesting if that failure triggers. I can't see why anyone want to go short there. Well, might be still people thinking this is a fail breakout. We're coming in, so is this. It might not even come back. It might just slowly, once it gets so far, it'll just keep going then, I think. Yeah, it does look like a little bit of a spike in channel, doesn't it? I prefer them to incorporate this, but yeah, it may just keep going. Yeah, I can't see that coming back down now. I think it's bullish enough to keep pushing higher. So we have 2 legs down. Maybe we can get a higher low. If this drops down here below any of these and then pushes up quickly, I'd say there's some longs maybe buying around here, which is similar to that one where it came down and had a quick put. I'm going to have a look at that back later, but I'm pretty sure I noticed that quickly push up. Now, if people are thinking about long in there, where's the best place to go? Do you want to go here? Not really. Let's see if it comes down again. See it push up again there. It just didn't break below though. That's the bit that made me nervous, but it did have a quick push up. So maybe people bought off the line. As tempting as I am, I'm going to hold back. Shush. Top the last 6 days, we're touching another early. Yeah, I still expect it to make this measured leg, mate, because of this. Yeah, there's still different highs though, aren't they? So Mac never really tends to pay much attention to what's happened in the past days. We got this leg up there. I'm convinced it's going to push higher. At least, you know, we'll get higher and higher and higher. It's clearly not coming down. I think it's just waiting for the right investment. If it can come out here a little bit, drop below some of these, and I think it'll interest some buyers then. We got this measured leg up here, and right at the tops of here. Interested to see this. I'd say there's probably going to be some buyers around here. I'll see if it does pop up. This will be a higher low then, with 2 legs down and a higher low. Excuse me. See, us as traders, max traders, will look for a certain type of a bar and put our order above there. Now, I swing trade a bit of crypto as well. And what I do, if I expect the market to come down, if we're generally bullish and I expect the market to come down to these levels here, to buy higher, what I'll tend to do is drop an order here. I'll put my stop down here. And a lot of cases it'll come down, tick it, and then shoot up because it encourages buyers. So unfortunately, we start to buy already when the move's been made. There's obviously for a reason for that, but sometimes where it does hit a certain level, see, we've come down, we've hit this level, we've hit this level. If we hit here, I think we'll quite likely get some buyers thinking, oh, I like that now. We've come down 3 times, let's have another go. It's just not moving strongly up enough for me just yet, but I like to think if we can get down to around about these levels, then it may encourage some buyers. So let's see what happens. But we've gone up, we've come down, we've bounced off this area once, we've bounced off this area twice. If we come down here, that to me is a triple test. And if it does hit this or break below it touch and it does push up quite strongly, I'd then expect it to push higher. But it's just understanding how people think. You know, if I'm gonna buy here, and where do I want to buy? I want to buy in the lowest possible place. Well, I don't want to buy down here, do I? Because if it's broke these lows and it's gone down, we're thinking it coming down, but it's definitely trying to move higher. And there's a reason, because we've got this upward bias, haven't we? This bullish bias, and look where it's hitting each time. These legs, measured legs, have been really accurate today, and there's another one there. So everything is shouting to me to this area. Now, if people want to buy you, where are you going to buy? You're going to buy here? You want to buy as low as possible. So I think this is a good area. Now, it may slowly just grind up. If it doesn't come back, then, you know, if you can't get it for the price you want, then maybe if it continues higher, okay, I'll jump in here. But I'll prefer to get it back here because this is clearly a line of resistance, isn't it? Of support, sorry. You can see it there. You can see it here, here, here. You can see it here. So this is a line of resistance, and if we can manage to break a tick below there, I'm pretty sure there'll be a bunch of buyers in there. I might be completely wrong, but it's trying to push higher. It's just waiting for the right investment, isn't it? And I think that's going to come when we get down around about here, maybe below here. I don't know. Spike and channel. That spike in channel is not the one. You don't think so? Maybe that's it. I don't know. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It looks to me like one leg, two leg. I expect to get up here. Now, it looks like it's pushed up quite strongly. It's working in this tier. It's had a couple of legs back, and it's now working in this tier. I expect it to push up. Now it's starting to bounce a bit. Maybe this is it. Unfortunately, there's just no entry for us. By the rules, it's not going for. Yeah, maybe. Well, no, it's not confirmed it, but I don't know how else you could draw this, really. I mean, if you drew it like that. In which case you think break 2 pushes up to a new high. We've come back and bounced off this. I think it's probably more technically correct as that. But with a bullish imbalance, you'd expect it to slightly work slightly higher. And we've come back a bunch of times now. It may pick up a bunch of longs and then tank. It's possible. But the way we've bounced off this low once we've bounced again. I would have much preferred to bounce off here, in which case then I'd have absolutely gone long. But I think it'll work up anyway. You're not really going to think about selling here, are you? So that would mean the bias would tip in favours of the longs, and then once it starts to go, then obviously any sellers are going to think, sod that. Whether you're selling there, whether you're short. So once you get above there, I don't think there's nothing stopping it then. But you've got to get above that level. So we've got a leg and a leg. It might come down again. I don't know, but I'd have much preferred. This is a type of trade I'd have taken as a triple test. I think it'll work up. It's just doing it slowly, isn't it? Whether it'll come down again or not, I don't know. That's the best looking, but based on the bull momentum, I'm going off on the third swing, so still expect to retest the highs. Third swing, that one there. Let's have a look. So somewhere about here, yeah. See, that hasn't tested. It's only touched once, isn't it? See, sub traders don't really necessarily use those. They just go with the EMA. So pushed up with a break. 2 pushes up to a new high. We've had 2 legs back. A higher low. For me, it's slowly working up. But that's just what I can see at the moment. And maybe the right entry. Personally, I think the entry would be this one here. Would be the best. I mean, really, I think we're just fishing around trying to find some buyers here, aren't we? And we've come up, we've bounced off there once, bounced off there twice. So I think if people are going to get in on this, it may just grind up slowly, but I think if people are going to get in, it's when it drops below here that I think it's going to bring some buyers in and then maybe sit on it, in which case. No, I mean the first to the third swing. Let's have a look. First, 1, 2, 3, oh, to that one. Yeah, same again though. It's only really hit it once, isn't it? You pop it. Yeah, I'm not convinced any of that really. I mean, it could be a spike, couldn't it? Let's have a look. It's hard to say really. It sort of fits better, doesn't it? But I don't know. Let's have a look. I mean, whatever happens, however we've got a break anyway, haven't we? So you'd expect to retest the highs. But it is slowly grinding up, and I think it will. If it slowly grinds up, once it gets above these areas and these areas, then it'll push a bit higher, then push a bit stronger. Yeah, no, absolutely no trade. The only thing that will get me interested in is if it comes back and breaks below and closes above this, and it might do. But there's probably going to be some shorts there thinking about. So if it slowly attracts a few buyers in, and slowly the higher it goes, the shorts just give up or lose interest, then it will work up slowly, and then work up to any area of least resistance, which is and he stops above there. And I think once it gets above there, we'll move up quickly to this area then, and maybe towards yesterday's highs, I think, something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Same with that one. You can I don't know. You can draw these a bunch of areas, can't you? Really, what it is, it's sort of two pushes, isn't it, in the break? But we haven't made a second leg, so whether it's your way or this way or a different way, it's not a major issue. The fact that we've had two legs back and it is slowly working up. And this is another bull flag to me. This is what I'm seeing is that push up two legs back and it's a bull flag. For me, they just almost always work. At some point it'll push up, it may drop out the bottom and have a triple test, but I think it'll slowly grind until it gets above that high, and then I think it'll push pretty quickly. And this is the area where I think this leg, these legs are so accurate. It's clearly not a lot of shorts there. It's not a lot of buyers in there either, but I think there's probably more buyers and sellers, which is why I think it'll slowly grind. But I don't mind it dropping down for that third test, because if it does that, I'm 100% interested in. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so gutted about that. I actually had it and it was starting to move, and I felt I just dragged it up like that quickly. Oh, I could have got another 4 or 5 points. That would have been lovely. Okay, so we've got a new low. Try go low once, try go low twice. Possible failure. Trouble is, it's congested. I think the safest bet is to come drop below here and then sit on here like that. That'd be just a silly risky trade, that. Mm. Come down here. Come on. May get down here now. Once, twice. If you can get down here, Break below here, push up, solid bullish. I'd expect that right to the top there. 2, 4, 6. I'd expect 6 points off there. Come on. Well, that'd be nice if we can get down to there and then push up somewhere like that. Let me just put a little mark down there. I want to get rid of that measured move because it's going to get in the way. It's gonna get some buyers interested the further it gets down there. I think. Got that other leg, bullish biased, bullish imbalance. See how strong it pushes up. Come on, close down below here somewhere. Close below the EMA. Close down here, and then we get another bar. Close here. Come on. Once it breaks below, I'm pretty sure that it'll regain some interest for the buyers. Close down here. See, it's a new low there. There's a second entry short there, see? And maybe some shorts trap there. Thinking, trying to go once, trying to go twice, failed. No, I just can't get into that if it's bullish. It's got to come down here. Come on. Come on. Finish down here somewhere. There we go. Beautiful. Now drop below here and end up bullish. Gotta get below here.
Order submitted. In fact, you could even say, that's better. Touch, 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 touch. Pushed up once, twice, 3 times. I prefer it to drop below, really. That's just as good below there, I think. Touch, 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 touch. Yeah, that's better. It's a nice small bar, put it that way. It's also a fail if it triggers higher.
It's a big old bar. Please come and get me.
Order submitted.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, triple test. Let's get 6, 7, 8, 2, 5, 3, 2 points. 750, 850, 950. Let's go for 3 points to here. It's going to be some shorts there, I think. I'll just bounce, and really big strong bar. Triple test. Three and a quarter point, quite a big risky bar, but I think that's okay. When we get over here, there'll be some shorts in here, I'm pretty sure. Once, two. It's just a triple test. It's bounced off there once, twice, 3 times. Big strong bar. It's a triple test right off that line. Touch a bunch of times. So I think it's okay. It is a bigger risk. Once we get above here, I think we'll be okay then. I'm not convinced that is like that. It's more sideways, I think. Once we get above here, I think we'll be okay. I think there's almost going to be some shorts there. There is some resistance there, yeah, but I think I just don't know how accurate these measured legs can be. Push up sideways, I expect another push up. I just like, it's a triple test. We come back once, 2, 3 times. It's a triple test for me. Yeah, I hope I do as well, mate. It is a triple test. I think Mac will mark it as a triple test as long as it works. He'll mark it anyway. I think once we get above there, there's probably some shorts there. There could be a bunch of traps, so that's the thing. If we can get above there, I think we'll be okay. But I just don't like the way it's going sideways. It's making me a bit nervous. But I think once we get above there... Yeah, it is a triple test, 1, 2, 3, and it's a big bar. Matt usually goes on about those big bars, but I think once we get above there, we'll have a bit of a push there. I'm going for the 3 points, but once it gets above here, I'm going to bring my sort of order up here. But once we get above these here, I think we'll be okay. I just don't like the way it's stalling. When it does that, sometimes it moves quick. That's the target, and I think there'll be some there. So if we can push up there. No, there's not. I'm relying on it making this second leg, bud, which is up here. I think there'll be some shorts there. I'm tempted to maybe just take 2 points. Once we get above here, I think we'll be okay. Okay. I'm just gonna. I think once we go, we'll be okay. It just makes me a bit nervous when we do this. Let's secure a 1.5. Go on, push. It looks like it's going to push strongly in a minute. I'm just securing myself a 1.5 just in case.
Stop filled.
God, that took me out quick. I got a 1.5 anyway, so that was okay. I just now we've broken these highs. I expect to make this leg, but it just makes me a bit nervous. Dr. Lilly, have you got order flow? Because I was thinking about getting it. It does look like it's going to hit there. 406 contracts on the 4-1 thing, 150 ask. Is that for short or long? Yeah, I mean, what did I get? Did I get a 1.5? I got a 1.5. I locked in a 1.5. I thought for a minute it was on the brink of going bum, which it does. So I locked in a 0.5 anyway. So it does look like it's going to hit that measured move. I did consider holding on, but you know, sometimes if it shoots down, these measured moves are so accurate. They really are. And look where it's hitting as well. Look at the tops. £10 a month for order flow on Apex. I'm going to have to look into that because I think it might be a useful tool just to look at maybe whether you keep in track. I don't understand much about it, bud, but I know a mate of mine, Marlon, used it for a while and he sent me the details of it. The one he looked at, it was about £30 a month or $30 a month. I can't remember what it was now. It wasn't Flowbots. It was something like I can't remember. I'll have to look into it. But I think yeah, we touched on that measured move. I should have just left me order here, but you know when it starts to go like that, up and down, sometimes it might just rocket and they make me nervous. So I already took a stupid trade there, so at least that worked nice anyway. It would have given me what I wanted, but we'd already broke the highs, so I thought let's just be sensible. So I came out just above the highs. It did end up going up another 2.25 points maybe, but I'm okay with that. I got a 0.5 out of it. But I got me 0.5 and I consider that me scalp. Then if it does go up like that when I was about to move up, then I'll move it up a bit. But I know some people don't like the way I do that. Some people think, but it's clearly one leg, two leg, and it literally touched there perfectly. We had this push up, and a lot of the times it'll have a couple of legs down, but there's no real good entry there, and it'll go sideways until we get a good entry. As far as I'm concerned, that was a good entry. Not only was it a nice, solid green bar, ended on its highs, but it was a triple test. So if it's looking for investment to go up, I can't see anything better than buying above there, really. There's a second entry there, but it's a doji. There's no other entry to go long there. So there we go. So just the apex DOM. I'm going to have a look at that. I'm assuming you can just try it for a month, bud, can you? Bookmap's another one. Yeah, I forget the one Marco sent me now. Let me have a look on my phone quickly. We've hit the 3 hours mark, so I'm probably going to knock on the head in a minute anyway. But I'm happy now. So what have we got? So over the 3 PA accounts, I'm up $400, so that's okay, really. It's not the perfect day, but at the end of the day, any day that's green is an okay day. It's a shame, really, about that one because that would have made it nice. But one leg up. There's definitely a bullish imbalance today, no argument there. And that, to me, 2 legs round, we were going to make a new extreme, but we were moving sideways, and because there's nothing really where you'd want to buy there apart from that bar there. And as soon as that bar appeared, we came back a little bit and then moved up. But never mind. I got a 1.5, so a 1.5's good. You can't knock that. You got 6 points, did you? And a 2-point scalp, yeah. I got a 1.5. Unfortunately, it just nicked down and caught me. Otherwise, what I tend to do is just follow these bars, and then maybe ought to come out there yesterday's highs. That would have been a good place to come out, and you can clearly see why, can't you? Because it's reacting there. So, but I find every day I trade, I understand things more. I understand the market a bit more. We see this all the time. You expect 2 legs. We've got a clear bullish imbalance. It's going sideways because it's not an attractive place. But as soon as you get a nice big bar like that and it's a triple test, it's a good place to go. It was clearly going to go higher then. And I'm just a little bit lack of confidence at the moment because things have been a bit awkward lately. There hasn't been a great deal of setups. It's been a little bit tough. But look how accurate these measured moves are. And when you learn to use them, and I'm getting better at it all the time, it just gets better and better. And this is how Mac makes his money. He might take something. He knows how to ride these markets. But yeah, look how it's reacted off of yesterday's high. Broke through it, dropped it. Yeah, a nice place to take profit there. So you might have got, what do you got there? 2, 4, 4.5. 4.5 point, maybe 5 points. You got 6 points, so there you go. If you took it on a limit order, you might get a bit more, but it's working nice, isn't it? It doesn't seem, it seems a bit odd and a bit choppy, but it was quite a nice market to read there. Unfortunately, that loss, I had my channel drawn wrong, and I think that's why it stung me a little bit, but that's fine in the end. We had this, if you're patient, it breaks out and it comes back, tries to go lower once, tries to go lower twice, and you can see how quick that shot up. To me, that's the place it's going to carry on, and we went up and beautifully had these 2 measured legs. So days like this, I get a lot of value from the experience and learning point of view. I feel like I come on in leaps and bounds on days like this where I get some real, not about monetary value, but real... remember back to your days at school and college. Some days you just learnt more than others. Some days something just clicked, and But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Anyway, so another green day, another positive day. I'm quite happy to build these PA accounts up slowly. I've realised I've got to slow down and take a breather. You trade too many contracts. You just add too much pressure, and you can't recover from a couple of losses. It's just too much, and it just has a detrimental effect on my psychology trading 2 contracts. But I think if you've got a bunch of PAs, it's okay to maybe have one a little bit higher risk. At least that way you might have one that'll pay a little bit of money before the rest. But I'm quite happy to build. If I can make an average of $100 a day on each account, and I've clearly done it there with 2 wins and a loss, $100 a day, it's $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month per account. You have 10 accounts. That's a fortune, really. It earns $20,000 a month. And as your account grows, I think personally, when you get to $10,000, I like 1 contract per $5,000. That's about a 3% risk, I think, which I think is good. 3 to 4% risk, which I think is fine for futures. You get up to $10,000 and then you just bump up to 2 contracts. So theoretically, you're making double there. So You know, I've got my 4th PA account going live, I think Monday or Tuesday. So if I can make an average of $100 a day on each one, and you should do that. Okay. Yesterday I had a bit more, today a little bit less. But you should come to be able to do $500, but there you go. So it's been a good day. It's been a good school day for me. I've enjoyed trading today. Shame about that one, but there you go. That would have been nice. That was a nice trade, that one. Mac will mark that one. I'm pretty sure he'll mark that one as well. That one he may give a miss to, but there you go. So that is it for today. Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow. Weeks are going quickly. Soon be Christmas. So I'll have to have a look at those because I think just a quick glance at there, if you notice there might be a lot of buy orders, I'm not quite sure how it works, but what I think it does is if you look at the order book and you see a load of buy orders around this area, you pretty much know they're doing the same thing as me, looking for an entry to go higher. So I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have that near, close or on your chart or close to your chart, just to have a glance, just to maybe help your decision making, making sure that, you're aiming in the right direction. Cheers. No, thanks to you, Dr. Linney. Cheers, guys. I appreciate it. It's been a nice day today. I hope you've all got something out of today as well. A point or 2 or 3 or whatever you scout for. I think some you've got a bunch of points. But there you go. Yeah. Good day today. Oh, DBK. I've been waiting to rub your nose in it. In a nice way. That trade I took the other day. Remember that trade I took the other day? You didn't think it was a good trade, and I did. And I remember saying, I'm going to rub your nose in it, so consider your nose been rubbed in it. Mac marked it, and I think his words were, that's the trade you want to take. Now, my management of the trade could have been better, but I think the trade was okay. And I don't know. Some from one trader to the next, some may see it as a good trade, some may see it as a risky. I don't know. I know there's a lot of. It's not black and white, is it? Trading. There's a lot of grey area, so you can misinterpret stuff. I may see something different from. Look at that, it ain't stopping, is it? I may see something different from somebody else and all that, but there you go anyway. So look how strong it's pushing up now. God, if we only knew. Look at that. God, I wish I'd have held on a bit there, but I may have followed these. See, once I had that bit of push, I'd have followed these bottoms. I may have got taken out there, but I may have sometimes, if you give it an extra tick, but if I wouldn't have got taken out there, I would have done there, but I don't mind if I can get something out of a trade anyway, but yeah, that triple test, I think Mac will spot that one. It clearly went up, came down, bounced, and it doesn't really. I'd have preferred it to break a little bit lower, but it doesn't look any more bullish than that, and it clearly that was the leading factor then to push it up. So all good, but see, there's another 2 legs there as well, by the looks of things. 1 leg, 2 legs, yeah. Oh. 1 leg, 2 legs, look at that. We see that all the time. I pointed out the other day, you get a push out, a little bit of sideways at a slight angle up, and a push out the other day. We see that so many times. Push up, a little bit of an angle, followed by another push up, measured move. I'll be shocked if that doesn't it. So there you go anyway. Another day, another dollar. We're building up nicely now. I feel much better about my contract size. I feel way more relaxed trading. And I haven't come back and traded after my normal session in an evening since I started on 1 contract. So it's clearly made a difference to my psychology. So there you go. So I'm going to mark my chart up and then I'm going to close it down for the evening. I'm going to go and have my tea. So I appreciate all your comments and all your feedback, and I hope I haven't yabbered on too much and you've had a decent day yourself. So I will see you all tomorrow and we will do it all again. So have a great evening, stay safe, and I will see you all tomorrow.